Hello, Cancer, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a lovely day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of December 21st through the 27th. During that time, we'll have a waxing crescent moon, which is a time of heightened emotions and senses when you're kind of able to, or not really emotions, but senses, when you're able to buckle down and kind of get some things accomplished. So, of course, we're writing up here right on the edge of Christmas. So, if you're trying to do those last minute things, it's probably a good time to get those things done with the energies. Also, Merry Christmas then on the 25th. The solstice is also on the 21st, so don't forget that. Get outside and maybe take a look up at the sky and see what's going on up there. Also, so right after Christmas, we have that first quarter moon that comes in on the 27th, and that could be a time when you might feel a little bit impulsive, impatient. So, in the Christmas holidays over, you might be starting to ramp up for the New Year's holiday. So, that's a lot going on this week. So, keep those energies in mind as you're moving through the week and how they affect you, and just take time to stop and just breathe and relax a little bit for yourself. So, this will be an intuitive general reading, Cancer. So, of course, take what resonates today, but leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is prosperity lies ahead. I don't think I've seen that card in a very, very, very long time. I always laugh at that deck because some cards come out quite often and I see them, and then some are just so rare that I rarely pull them out. So this is one that I rarely see, Cancer. So pay attention to that. Also, again, just I want to take the time to wish you a very Merry Christmas this week. I'm doing some quick readings. It's a very busy time for all of us, so me included. So we're just going to try to get through a quick reading for you. But I do want to take that time to say thanks for being here and very Merry Christmas to you and yours. So, all right, Cancer, your present energy with this prosperity lying ahead is a tower moment. So some sort of disruption that you've got going on. And, at least you've got that future prosperous thing to look forward to, but some kind of disruption for you this week. You might be a little annoyed at it. Sometimes those things happen. Maybe it's a travel delay, something, but just try to look, try to have the bigger mindset of looking at the bigger picture. I feel like, if it is a travel delay, I always feel like, if maybe it's preventing me from being somewhere for something else that I don't want to be involved with, right? Maybe a small fender bender prevents you from a bigger accident that's up the road. So, just kind of take things in stride, take that deep breath, realize that everybody's kind of harried before a holiday, and take those disruptions in stride if you do come across those. Your current situation is the Magician. So, here's the Magician saying, what are we going to learn from this disruption, and how would you like to move forward? And what do you want to do? What do you want to do next? If prosperity lies ahead, it might be something having to do with these pentacles, right? So some disruption, but also, the Magician asking you how you want to move forward. So that's pretty nice. At the root of your situation this week, Cancer, is the Queen of Pentacles. So having an understanding of the way the material world works. And again, maybe when the Magician asks you how you do want to move forward or change things, Pentacles is what you choose. Maybe you choose to do something that is going to bring you some prosperity. There might be some business that's hidden somewhere in this disruption, or some realization that, like, oh, I'm done. I'm done. I want to do this other thing that makes me more money, right? So that's where those disruptions can be kind of learning experiences and things that move us in a different direction, even though we didn't expect it. In your recent past here, Cancer, is the Ace of Cups. So you're moving into whatever is going on with a big open heart, and being very open about your emotions, and just your cup runneth over, literally. So you're definitely emotionally supported, friends, family, that sort of thing. So whatever that means, that you can bear anything, right? We're not given, if we're giving these little disruptions, they are kind of life changers and life movers. And sometimes when you're in it, it's hard to see that, but you look back a few weeks, a few months, maybe a few years later, and say, it's a really good thing that thing happened, because look where it moved me to. So that's kind of where we have to look at the bigger picture. What is on your mind this week, Cancer, is the Wheel of Fortune. So, of course, prosperity lies ahead. There's some of you traveling to Vegas this week, with this Wheel of Fortune and this prosperity. Of course, prosperity doesn't have to be always in the way of financial things. It can also be in, the love and joy that you find in your family also. So, and those are things that are on our mind this week. But Wheel of Fortune, the wheel is about how just things are constantly evolving and changing, and how your life yesterday doesn't really have to be your life tomorrow because things are ever changing. What is just ahead of you this week, Cancer, is the Emperor, which is the card of leadership and building. With that, the most solid four in the deck, so stable the Emperor is. But it's that, it's having a clear vision of what you want to do, what you want to build. And I do feel like there is maybe something again in this disruption that's kind of causing you to change your mindset about something or move forward in a different manner. So again, the magician is there with all of the elements to help you decide, is it passion that you'll move forward with, your intellect, your communication, your coins, your money, or your emotions. So make sure you're paying attention to that because you're about to build something and build on some building blocks there. In your advice position this week, Cancer, is your financial stability. So maintain that stability. Of course, now we've got 2 4s showing up for you. So you might want to look up angel number 44, but it's in your advice just to hold on to that stability, that you're in a stable place. You can handle this disruption, but again, there's something maybe hidden in that can move you forward in a positive way, and you can build upon it. Alrighty, what is beyond your control this week, Cancer, is the Hermit card. So, in the middle of all of this, what do you want to do? You want to go within a little bit, and you want to go in to ask yourself, seek a little bit of that inner wisdom. Again, I know it's the holiday week. I know it's crazy busy. There's just seems like there's a lot to do, but if you can take a few of those moments for yourself to go within to really think about these things, and there might be some answer in that Hermit card. The Hermit is not lighting up, this light only lights the hermit's next step. So, what is your next step? And go ahead and take the time to go within and find that for yourself. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid is some anxiety here with the Nine of Swords. So, hopefully, I'm sure that is something you're trying to avoid. I doubt if that's anyone's secret desire, but you're trying to avoid some anxiety and some sleepless nights. And that's why you're going to get that stability. Grab a hold of that and make some decisions that are going to quell that so that you don't have that anxiety. In your outcome, Cancer, we have got the Six of Pentacles. So, this week, this is definitely about giving and receiving, right? So be good at giving, be good at receiving, be grateful for what it is that you have. Take that time to go within. If this disruption has some kind of, maybe things don't go quite as you planned, but again, there's something that you learn in that lesson, and it's something that you're going to take forward and build upon in your future. And I really like that idea, but you might have to go within to find exactly what that is. It might be kind of hard to find in the mix and the crazy of the week. So make sure that you take some of that time for yourself. All right, what is hidden from you this week, Cancer? Is the Six of Swords, which I've seen in a lot of readings, but this is kind of hidden from you. But this is moving calmly into the future, with, calm, stable thoughts. I feel like you're just trying to get through the moment this week. I don't feel like anything that you're looking at is going to be like a long-term thing. You're trying to get through this thing, but I feel like there's a message that's hidden in there for you. Again, look within and see what that hidden message, what is this disruption there to teach you about? And then that will frame your future and how you move into it. So, all right, let's get to a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Cancer on this Christmas week. Final message for you, and that message is make a plan. Make a plan. That's what the Emperor would do. The Emperor would sit down, write out a plan, and definitely have things kind of framed out. That's what the Emperor, who's the ultimate builder, the ultimate leader who does things very systematically. Making a plan is probably the first part of anything, right? Make a plan and then do the steps to achieve your goals. All right, let's see what Cancer needs to do in the way of self-care besides that Hermit that is definitely coming out to say that. And your card that you get is the card called Focus. And look, oh, my absolute yes list. Talk about making a plan. You literally might need to take pen to paper to make a plan. This card says, if you focus on what you don't want, there's a good chance you might get it. Focus on what you do want instead, and that will quell this anxiety. Use that hermiting time to really focus. Make a plan. What is it that you absolutely want? The magician is asking that of you. we don't, if you're floating along in life and things are just happening to you, that's not really making a plan and deciding, hey, I'm going to do this specific thing to make these specific things happen. So it's something you may need to do. So, Cancer, thank you so much for being here with me. I know this was a quick reading. I was trying to just get one in for it this week. Also, I do want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really do appreciate that you come here. Hopefully, this will be some help for you in this week. And once again, Merry, Merry Christmas. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.